So, this is my story of resilience by me, Alexandra Florent. So, this is just a little bit about me. So, my favorite Bible verse is, "However, I consider my life worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and complete the task Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the good news of God's grace." This is a verse that came to me when I first became a Christian, and it's something that I have taken with every walk and step throughout my life. And so, just a little bit of other fun facts about me. My favorite countries that I visited have been India. I have lived in South Korea, but it's definitely still on my favorites, and then Vietnam as well too. And then a little bit of a fun fact is I am actually deathly allergic to everything in the ocean, including seafood, shellfish, fish, seaweed, jellyfish. I found out at my friend's wedding that I was allergic to jellyfish, which was not fun at all. And then another fun fact is I actually been riding horses for over 18 years. I mean, it's probably been a little bit longer than that, but I really started riding like more competitively for about 18 years now, and I just love it. I can do English and Western style. I know how to jump really high. I've jumped over 6 feet, which is really hard to do. Yeah, just some fun little facts about me. And also, I'm really proud to be Canadian. I'm also American now, and I'll be sharing a little bit about that. But just a little fun fact. I love my country. I love where I come from, and I miss home every day. So, a little bit about my birth name. So, my first name is Alexandra, and I find this really cool because I never knew the connection between my first name and my last name until I did this project. So, the meaning of my name is defender or protector of mankind, and then my last name is Saunders, and it also means mankind's defender. But then the Irish meaning means son of Alexander, and then my first name's Alexandra. So I thought that was really cool. And then I had to include the Irish flag, and then the Canadian flag, and the British flag, because that's really where I come from. And then I also had a last name change, and so a lot of people pronounce it as Florent, or you can be Florent if you want to kind of add that little French accent to it. But I thought it was really cool. The name means blooming and flourishing, which I really felt that best represented my family. And yeah, we changed our last name when my mom married my stepdad, and it was just a lot easier when we were traveling just to share the same last name. And so I've kept it, and I haven't changed it since. So a little bit of my family tree. This is on my mom's side. There's me, and then I also have a half sister, and her name is Stephanie, and which is really cool. We have the same mom, but then we shared different dads, and so it was really cool just kind of being able to see how much I knew about like my grandparents and about my great-grandparents as well too, just because my mom has talked so much about it. So I ended up writing it all out, and then I took a screenshot and sent it over to my mom because I was like, oh, did I get all of this right? And so a little bit more about my stories. I also have another half sister, but it's on my birth dad's side. I actually don't know too much about him, neither does my mom. And so, yeah, it was kind of hard filling out all the information. I only know his first name. And my little sister, though, I've been trying to contact her since doing this family tree. She hasn't responded, so I wasn't able to get any further information about grandparents on that side or great-grandparents. And then I come from a blended family. So I have a stepbrother, his name's Garrett. He's married now and has, oh gosh, the most cutest little baby. And then my half-sister Sydney on my birth dad's side. And then my adopted sister Jillian, she's from my stepdad's side. And then my half-sister Stephanie, who's on my mom's side. And then my stepdad, he's like a part of my blended family. I just like love him so much. And then I have a cross sibling, which I learned it's your half sibling, which apparently is called a cross sibling. And so that's my sister Lara. I actually have a lot more siblings than this, but this is all I could fit on the page. I have other half sisters, I have other half siblings and other step siblings as well as adopted siblings, but these were mostly the siblings that I grew up with and lived my childhood with. And so similarities and differences between more so my mom's generation and my generation. So my mom, like for her, she watched movies by going to the drive-in. She used a record player to listen to music. Definitely her generation was very work-centric, resourceful, and resilient. And for me, it's like I rented VHS tapes from Blockbusters. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually did this just because I am older than most of you. I used an iPod Shuffle to listen to music. I really feel like my generation is growth-oriented, tech-savvy, and open-minded. Definitely similarities between my mom, the boomer generation, and the millennial generation is that we grew up playing outside, our taste in music. Both of us walked to school, so that was really cool. We're really hardworking, and I'm says like to travel. We love to travel. We have been all over the world, so has my mom, and so it's a really cool experience to share with her. As you can already tell, I love my mom. She is just my superhero. You know, she was a single mom, and though we did have a stepdad, you know, that's a whole other story. But, you know, she was incredible. And so I just like absolutely adore her. We look nothing alike, but I have her beautiful, crazy curly hair, as you see in this photo here. And so, I'll go back to this one. I'm in her belly in that photo, so I kind of love it. She just told me a couple weeks ago, and I never knew. And so my mom was born in Montreal, Quebec, in Canada on December 3rd, 1960. She moved from Montreal to a small town in Kingston, Ontario, until she was about 24. And then she eventually pursued a career in nursing for 14 years before moving out to California. God blessed her with two beautiful girls. Me and my sister were 18 months apart. My older sister, she is 29. Again, my mom was a single mom. You know, we did have a stepdad, again, a little bit complicated kind of story in that aspect, but my mom is just super independent, caring, brave, and loving, and she really reiterated those qualities in us. And so I'm just really proud of her. You know, she really instilled really great, I loved her parenting style, her family values, her sense of style. She always makes me laugh. She's just definitely like one of the most amazing people ever. If you'd like, you can watch our oral history video. My mom and I talk all the time, so I knew basically everything before she started talking, but it's just really fun. We just have a really great dynamic, and so I kind of put here just kind of answers to some of the questions. And so, you know, again, like my mom, her name is Kim. She's from Montreal. You know, growing up, like our family, everybody like was abroad. We didn't have any family in Canada. We didn't really have family anywhere in North America. So we had family that were in Australia, family that were in Africa, family that was in Ireland, family that was in Britain. And so just all everywhere. And that's same how it is today. You know, for me, like my cousins, I think I only have a couple cousins that live in Canada now. Most of them just live all around the world. And so it's just really cool just to see that my family hasn't changed in that aspect. And so a cultural tradition that my family practices now is Christmas. You know, it is my mom's favorite holiday. And so she goes all out, and I just love it. Christmas definitely is a holiday that brings her a lot of joy. I will say, though, when I became a Christian, Christmas really changed for me. And I definitely found it challenging the first couple of years after becoming a Christmas celebrating with my family. You know, I am the only believer in my family. And so I will say my mom, she's very open to faith. And so I do love that. She is really open to allowing me to share my faith and to pray and to have worship music on and going to church. And so is my sister's boyfriend. I will say it's a little bit challenging more with my sister. You know, she is a non-believer and very firm on that. And so I'm just hoping, surely but slowly, God is just going to work her way through her heart. And so I'm really, if you guys can also pray for me on this, I'm really hoping my family will agree to go to church this Christmas. They have never gone with me on Christmas, and it would just mean the world to me that if they could go. And so a story how my family has made America a better place and now they're home. So for a little bit of backstory, my sister and I, we've lived on and off in the United States our whole life. I am the only U.S. citizen that's in my family, and I became a citizen August 4th, 2003. 2023. I would say my mom and my sister and I, we moved back to the United States as adults. We all actually came at different times. My mom moved first back here, and then I moved here, and then my sister did. And I will say, Canada has a really small population compared to the United States. I will say Toronto, where I grew up, has a huge population, but other than that, like doesn't have as many people as I feel like a lot of people think. I will say like America has so many opportunities, and you probably hear this all the time. Oh, America is like the land of opportunities. America is the land of opportunities. I'm really proud to be Canadian, but I'm also really proud to call the United States my home. Here is where my sister is a teacher now. I'm a teacher. My mom's a nurse, and these opportunities are not easy to come by. I have one of my friends who got her teaching credentials 10 years ago in Canada and still has not been able to find a job. So that's just the reality of living back home. And so to find how your home culture adds value to America, well, I included a little fun quote from our Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. He says, "In Canada, we know that our diversity is our strength." And that is something that I just hold really dear. Canada is multicultural and diverse. I will say it's my favorite thing about it, just how I grew up in just a very diverse, society. And so growing up, especially as an immigrant in the United States, my family really strived for us to stay connected to our home culture. Canadian culture historically has been a blend of French, British, and American influences. But as, Canada grew and, really was welcoming towards immigrants and refugees and newcomers, it just expanded into this beautiful, multicultural, diverse country filled with different cultures and values and beliefs. And it was a really wonderful place to grow up. And so another culture and community that's really important to me that I really wanted to share was a deaf culture. And so, I was 9 years old when I found out that I was born deaf in my right ear. And I am just so thankful for my mom. She really embraced this new reality with open arms. It was definitely a real struggle for my family. I immediately started taking sign language classes, and I started going to deaf events. And I just love the deaf community and the deaf culture. If you have never had an experience to engage with that culture community, I definitely really highly suggest doing so. It's just so beautiful. Sign language is such a beautiful and incredible language. And I just love it. It's really, it's a huge part of me. And if you'd like to learn sign language, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'd love to teach you. And so how is being bicultural or multicultural a strength for you in your future? So for me, it's really important for myself to remember where I come from and how living in Canada and America has really shaped my own beliefs and values. I really find that Canada is a blend of these multicultural influences that take pride in the multitude of languages, religions, heritage, customs, and traditions that shape the country. And America, it has its own values such as individualism, equality, unity, diversity that influences the country. And so I kind of reiterated Canada's strength is America's strength. And I really feel like both of those have really helped, shape who I am and also shape my future as well too. And so I think it's really important to remember where you come from and your country, especially if you're an immigrant, just being able to, bring those wonderful aspects of where you're from, into your home, into your family, into, your classroom as well too, because your students are going to know and they're going to see, and all of my kids know where I'm from. We got to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving for the first time in my classroom last year. And so that was just a really, special tradition. I love Canadian Thanksgiving. It's in October, unlike America, which is in November. And so this year I'm really excited because we're going to do it again. And so I have a lot of my students are from, different places as well too. And so I send an email. I'm like, if there's a holiday that's really important to your family, please tell me because I want to celebrate it. I love celebrating and learning about different customs and traditions from different cultures. And so I love when my parents are really open and really wanting to share it and celebrate it with others. So how do I plan to contribute and make America a better place? Well, I really feel that I contribute to making America a better place is by being a teacher. My own experiences as an immigrant has really helped me to be more compassionate and understanding and inclusive in my classroom and in my community. I also instill my Christian beliefs and values by following the example of Jesus and helping others, by actively being involved in my church, which extends to my community where I help serve people who are less fortunate. And so I kind of tied this up with, just a really good reminder in Bible verses: love your neighbors as yourself. And I feel like just like the basic, like the most important thing is that, remember who you are, remember where you're from, remember your cultures, remember your community, and just bring that aspect into your classroom and encourage your students to do so as well too. It is just so wonderful just to be able to have that classroom environment as just one community. Thank you so much just for listening to my story.